So we're going to just make up a problem. We're going to make up a problem and do the stoichiometry. All right?
All right.
So let's say that I have a solution. Let's see. I was looking for a solution of trisodium phosphate over the holiday. So let's say we have a solution.
Should we do this like sideways or up and down?
I've done it sideways.
I'm gonna do it diagonally. Bet you guys didn't think of that one.
What is our makeup test?
Tomorrow. And we're probably going to have the next test on Wednesday. We're ready to get started on it. So we're going to be doing test review tomorrow, the test preview tomorrow. Y'all did all pass back the practice test, right? If you don't, and I see a lot of you don't have any like paper to take notes on, don't have pencils out. I wasn't talking about you. I'm talking about some people.
Like me. This guy just adds it. Should we have a calculator? Right.
And this is what's
Yes?
that thing on your paper, like under the mouth?
That's his hand. Oh, well, it's moving. No, I'm just kidding.
It was like looking blah blah blah.
Let's see. What can I precipitate?
Taylor sleeps so peacefully.
It's supplied, and you define its concentration.
What are we waiting on?
Trying to figure out which, what I want to precipitate it with.
Oh, yeah, I got one. I've had these bathroom taps in my binder all semester. I don't know what it's for.
Good man.
You did your, you know what, Hudson?
Dog.
What?
Dog.
You ain't got a dog. You got a dog? I think you have a snake. Mr. Tedder Hudson has a snake. What was that, Misha? Yeah, Mott. Misha, you didn't get me anything for my birthday.
Did you want something for your birthday?
Yes.
What did you want? Did you birthday?
No, I don't kill zebras like
That's
you.
a good one.
Me too. You shot with the bulldog gun. I know.
Oh.
It's just straight. Bill, be nice.
Yeah, Bill, be nice.
Hey, at least you can read.
All right. So what I've done is to write out a problem just as I might be thinking about it. Okay? Very often the problems I give you for practice problems and for homework and on tests are a lot shorter. But if I'm thinking about what I need to do, I'm sort of doing this. I wrote this problem out as I thought about, well, what do I need to do here? I need to find the concentration of trisodium phosphate. Now, something you need to know is that we typically in chemistry don't write the name of this chemical as trisodium phosphate. That's the method we use for naming covalent compounds, and it's not covalent. Okay? You need to be aware that when you buy things in the store, they very often use terms that are a little bit different. They're older terms. They're not lab terms. They're not chemist terms. Okay? If we were just naming this chemical in terms of how a lab would do it, we'd do it in the lab, we'd simply call it sodium phosphate. Okay? And so sodium phosphate, sodium has a 1+ charge, and we know we're putting a phosphate on there. Phosphate is a polyatomic ion, so it must be an ionic compound. So, and we're putting it together with a phosphate, and when you look up phosphate, what do you look it up to find what its charge is? The list of common ions, a polyatomic ion list, and that has a 3+ charge. So to balance this formula, I need 3 sodiums to get, I'm sorry, it should be 3-, you're right. 3-, and so to balance this out, we get when we bond it together, when we have 3 sodiums and we bond it, we use a subscript to show it's bonded together. So it's Na3PO4. That's our solution. Yes.
When do we find the
What now?
when do we find when do we use the atom inventory to find it?
Well, we're going to do that shortly. Okay.
Is there certain problems that you do it there?
Well, if it's stoichiometry, you got to do it. We're going from one species to another here. We've got to do it in a balanced equation. No, balanced equations are used all the way through. Remember, this is a cumulative class. Once you learn to balance equations, you've got to be able to do it from then on. Okay? So what we're doing is we're putting together this sodium phosphate. And the question up here said it's a solution. Well, if it's a solution, it must be aqueous or dissolved. We don't really even have to look that up on the solubility rules. We should know it's a solution. Okay? You could. Calcium chloride. And it says we're adding 2.50 milliliters of the calcium chloride. Let's see. Okay, it's a solution of calcium chloride. So we know that's an aqueous substance. So calcium chloride, aqueous. Okay?
Do we have to do it with calcium chloride too?
Do we have to balance it? What are you asking me?
Yes.
You have to balance calcium chloride. That's true. Okay? Well, we used it a lot in here. I would hope you'd already know by using it so much that we just CaCl2. But if you don't, that's okay. Calcium has a 2+ charge and chlorine has a 1- charge. Pretty simple. Okay? So now we have to find what kind of products they're going to make. All right? To balance the whole equation, we've got to find out what kind of products we're going to make. Well, if I have an ionic compound here and an ionic compound here, if there's going to be a reaction, what classification of reaction is that? Double replacement. So the front part goes with the back part.
Yeah, and the back part.
Remember, subscripts only travel when they are actually part of a polyatomic ion. This is not a polyatomic ion, and neither is this. So I'm not putting any subscripts over here. Okay? And then I'm putting calcium with phosphate. But I have to find out how to balance the formulas now. Okay, I know I'm going to have a solid over here. It says so in the problem. We need to balance the formulas. Well, sodium we said is 1 plus. Chlorine I already said was 1 negative, so that's balanced. Calcium we said was 2 plus, and phosphate is 3 minus. So let's see, calcium 2 plus phosphate 3 negative.
Billy on. Hey! We'll take a break for this. Mr. Tedder's talking to a lady. I'll text you and know it.
Yeah, well, I looked and I thought.
He's in deep conversation.
How long do you use I didn't know it's well. I don't think it's not that
Woo! This is more than a 30-second timeout.
Mac?
He's back.
All right. So, how many of each of those do I need, folks?
3 and 2.
So we're going to get calcium with a 3 subscript and phosphate with a 2 subscript.
Sure are.
All right? We need to find out which one of these is going to be a solid.
Look at your little list.
Solubility rules. Well, you probably know what this one's going to be already.
Yeah, it's gotta be solid. Liquid.
Table salt?
Table salt.
Really?
That's a solid.
In water?
No, I'm just kidding. I didn't hear the in water. I didn't hear it in the water part.
Have
That's
y'all
ridiculous.
we got water all over the
I
place.
know I wasn't. Dang it.
Have y'all just completely forgotten everything in 4 days?
No.
Can we review?
I haven't forgotten.
We are reviewing. This is what this is. We're reviewing.
So we've already done these?
Absolutely.
We need to start from like scratch.
Well, get out your test references. If you don't have your test references out, you're practicing to fail.
Can I get some test references?
No, use your own.
Yes.
I can't find them!
You can't steal his
No, you do not use my test references. Sit down and be quiet.
Can I get some more?
Sit down and be quiet.
I told you.
Brian, be quiet.
Sorry.
Yes, Nisha.
Why do you put a subscript? I mean, why do you write it with a subscript and not like the big 3 that close it?
Because that's the convention when you bond something together. You use subscripts to show them bonded together.
Okay, I put small and big mountain.
You only use coefficients to balance an equation. Okay? So get out your test references. Look for phosphate.
I'm trying to find mine.
I found that this is better.
What's it say?
Hold on. Periodic table of the elements, and I'm about to look through it all.
Oh.
I know mine.
That's better.
All
Insoluble.
are insoluble.
Alright, reference.
Except. All phosphates are insoluble except.
Group 1.
Well, this is a group 1 metal here, so this one's aqueous because group 1's an exception. What else does it say?
Ammonium.
Well, there's no ammonium in here. So if this is not group 1, this is what group? Group 2, so this must be a solid. Okay?
Wait, I said solid.
Yeah, but you're just guessing. You don't have your test references out.
Well, I already knew it.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Okay? Now, I don't mind supplying one to you if you need it, but you can always download them from the website. Okay? If you've lost yours. All right? But I don't want you using my test set of test references. You have your own personal copy. And I'll be
Then it
glad.
helps me practice for the test because it's blue sheet.
Sharing is caring.
No.
Can I print?
Is there something about no you don't understand?
I think the N.
No. Okay? All right. If you want to print it out on blue paper, go buy your own blue paper and print it out.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
I had a great Thanksgiving, but let's back to this, okay? All right. Now we have to balance the equation. Do you remember how to do an atom inventory?
You do
Yeah,
little boxes.
yeah.
Please balance this equation.
And then like,
Please balance this equation. If you can do it, I want you to practice it now. This is review.
yes it is.
This is a cumulative class. You've got to be able to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Balance the equation, please.
Yeah. All right.
Can I do it on the board?
You want to balance the equation on the board?
Yeah, sorry. Let me do it on my paper first.
Well, there's no reason to do it on the board if you're going to do it on your paper.
I'll do it on the board. I'll do it on the board. You mean do it like up here on the board?
Whatever you want to do.
So Josh, let's do it on the board.
No, I can't. I've lost the problem. I don't have a problem.
Well, I'm sorry you weren't taking notes.
I was taking notes. I just got to balance it. I don't have a problem with balance.
Can everyone see if I do it right here?
Your head might be in the way.
Bill could flip the light on.
I got it. I got the light. I got the light.
Oh God!
Right about like.
Is that good? That's good.
Can't reach it.
Oh. Oh.
Brian, sit down, please.
Yes, sir. Sorry. No good reason.
I need to write.
191.6 pounds. Oh boy.